Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
All right, good morning. And it's nice to have a sunny day again. So I just thought I didn't really introduce Clarkson University or where I came from very much on the first day. I only had an arrow pointed to the northern tip of New York State is where I'm from. But I just thought as people are walking in, being a little bit late, I would, at least those of you are here, share a little bit about Clarkson University. So I am the director of what we call our Institute for Sustainable Environment. I'm also a professor of environmental engineering, but our institute is an interdisciplinary hub of campus all environmental and sustainability activities. It happens all over campus, but we sort of facilitate and are responsible for campus sustainability initiatives. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what we do. So first of all, we're a small, much smaller than IIT Madras, private STEM-focused university. So we got about 3,000 undergraduates and 800 plus grad students. It depends upon, we've got lots part-time in professional programs. 55% of our undergraduates are engineering students. I don't know what it is here, but it's likely similar. And so we have also, just watching the videos about IIT Madras, very similar sort of educational philosophies about actually doing stuff, right? Our students build stuff, they innovate stuff, they're entrepreneurs, they go to competitions. So they're showing off the things that they do. So it's not just classroom activities. And all of our undergraduate students they need an internship or a co-op. A co-op would be a whole semester. Internship is usually during the summer. So we think it's very, very important for them to get professional experience before they move on, which I think is similar here. So the Institute for Sustainable Environment, or what I call ISE, is sort of this hub for all these sort of environmentally activities. It was initiated in 2010. And I've been the director since 2015. And we do have environmentally focused programs in both our Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. We have undergraduate degrees in environmental engineering, and then master's and PhD in civil and environmental engineering is the name of the degree that you get. And in our institute, we have more interdisciplinary, broader thinking degrees. Undergraduate is more environmental science and sustainability, far less engineering oriented. But also our master's, we have environmental policy and environmental science and engineering, and we have a PhD in environmental science and engineering. So the difference between the civil and environmental engineering graduate degrees are more treatment technology focused, right? So cleaning things up. Where the environmental science and engineering is broader thinking with some policy, some more systems, like what I teach here is an important part of the environmental science and engineering. And it's a mix of people doing maybe more ecology oriented stuff with more engineering, solutions-oriented stuff, environmental economics. They're all getting the same degree, so it's a very interdisciplinary degree with faculty from across campus advising those students. So our undergraduate degree, we have different concentrations. We used to have different degrees in these things, and we just decided that was too much. So now we just have one degree with concentrations. But we recognize that our students coming in really are not cookie cutter, right? They don't all see that environmental science is just going out and taking water samples and testing water quality. So they're working on a broad range of activities, and they get a lot of double majors and minors. And at the graduate level, we work at all sorts of different types of research in our degrees in the environmental science and engineering. It's similar. So the master's, typical 18 months or so, and I have some stuff for you to take if you want more information. We both have project-based masters, which is, smaller, often more applied, like design-oriented masters, and also thesis-oriented masters. Some of the thesis-oriented masters do get funding, but not all of them. And again, there's systems-oriented and policy-oriented classes there included. So we at Clarkson, like here, we really use the sustainable development goals to drive what we do at Clarkson for sustainability. And we have this tagline, sustainability in all we do. And I talked to, so some of these slides came from the presentation I do for our new employees. So this is part of new employee orientation, is for them to learn about the sustainable development goals. And we've got these tiles, you know, and so we share them all across campus so students can think about, well, how am I connected to sustainability? And they realize it's not just the environmental scientist. And it includes our ROTC, which is sort of the Army prep, our student support services with equity, our innovation people, scuba divers. They all have some connection with sustainability. And we celebrate that. This is too small, but here's 15 of the goals, and every month or so we put out you know, an announcement. We celebrate somebody who's doing something with the goals. So we really are hitting across the goals with what we do on campus. So this is an international rating for sustainability in higher education, the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. Do you know about that? They have a sustainable tracking and rating system. We've gotten gold for the last you have to do it every 3 years. Gold is good. So this is like LEED, either you do it or you get bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. Very few schools, only 13 schools have gotten platinum, at least as of a year ago. So I don't know some schools, there's more than here than you know, but like Cornell and Stanford, Arizona State are all platinum. They have the money, right? So they have the money to buy that. But Clarkson is in good company. University of Colorado Boulder, Carnegie Mellon, Tufts, Princeton, just thinking things that you might have heard of, MIT, Caltech. So those are also gold. So we're in that company when it comes for this rating system. But we have challenges and opportunities. Successes, our biggest, well, one of our challenges is our climate commitment. We have signed a climate commitment that says that we are working towards net zero greenhouse gas emissions by some date. It used to be 2025. We did not make that, and we knew 2 years ago that we were not going to make that. And if you come, I don't know, Indu, if I'm still going to do a seminar tomorrow afternoon for you. Yeah, I'll give more details tomorrow. I didn't want, but anyhow, so it's heating, so I'll show you that. But also we're working on resilience and adaptation, and flooding is the biggest climate challenge that we have also. Maybe ice storms as well. You don't have ice storms, but flooding in the village, exact same thing that you've faced here. Campus is pretty fine in terms of flooding, but the people who have to drive through the downtown village and who live there and who have to get their kids to school, they're often in the middle of a flood. So very similar, although the rain amounts are often less than I think we got here the last few days. And we do that work with the community, right? Because you can't do resilience and adaptation. You can't draw a boundary around your campus and do that. So we actively work with our community. So our greenhouse gas emissions, our first best year was 2010. And if you look at the blue is natural gas and the red is electricity. You can see we've done great with electricity. We're down to almost zero with electricity. Blue is natural gas, which we use for heating our buildings and hot water. It's like, I don't know, probably -8 right now in Potsdam. So we heat our buildings, and that's really important. You can't operate without heating fuel. So that's our biggest challenge. We thought we were going to be able to use renewable natural gas from anaerobic digesters for that, and political reasons got in the way. So we have not solved that problem, but we're doing quite well with most of the electricity is now hydropower with some solar power. And at some point to get to net zero, we have to have some negative emissions to balance the positive emissions. And we're working on carbon offsets from forest and our trees. And we've got a lot of just projects. Our students, as I said, do a lot of stuff. In sustainability, we don't build stuff to go to competitions like I don't know, I saw mini Indy cars here and things like that. We don't do that, but we still build stuff and do things. We've got a cold climate greenhouse. That green building, it might not look like a greenhouse, but it's well insulated for the winter. Our civil and environmental, electrical, and mechanical engineers designed and built that. And now the garden club is operating that. The students, especially graduate students who are around in the summer, this is Naga. He's the one who took me on the moped. This is how I know him. On Sunday, he's from Chennai, and he's here now. But our graduate students, he never knew how vegetables grew before. So now he knows how vegetables grew, and he's got his own garden at his house in Potsdam. And then we do a lot of houseplant stuff because we believe having houseplants in your house, especially in the winter when it's kind of gray outside, is good for your mental health. We have a lot of woods. We have about a 640-acre campus, so a little bit bigger than you, but versus your campus, the buildings are all interspersed in the woods. Our campus, the buildings are all sort of together, and then there's woods. We've got lots of trails, mountain biking, hiking, cross-country skiing. Students built that lean-to. They sleep out there. They've got a couple of fire pits. And so we really appreciate our stewarding our natural areas. We also are right on a river. That's the Racket River. So campus is on the left of that picture. And that yellow trail is about a mile long, right along the river. It's really beautiful. Lots of bird, wildlife. And we have an arboretum along that river now that the students created and are still working on. And the students do a lot of the trail maintenance and built the lean-to and the mountain biking trail. So this is all student project-oriented stuff. But we really appreciate and steward our natural resources, just like here. And on the more where the buildings are, there's a lot more lawn than here, but we have reverted a lot of that to not mowing. And so we're trying to restore meadows, and it's really made a big difference. And we're always planting trees, and it's always the students there planting trees and scraping off invasive species. And we use the Sustainable Development Goals to sort of identify everything. Food waste is a challenge. We are required by law to not send our food waste to a landfill, which is the standard where our trash goes. We do have an anaerobic digester on campus. It's 3 of those big black tanks. And I'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow as well. But we also encourage the picture of the green buckets. Those are going to apartment dwellers. We can't capture all of our food waste. One of the challenges that I think you have accomplished, that you go to eat in a mess hall and you eat there on a plate, right, with metal utensils. Our campus people have to-go boxes, and they take their food all over the place. And we can't capture that. So that is our biggest challenge, but we're not going to be able to change the culture to have everybody eat in the dining facility on ceramic plates. Even the people who eat in the dining facility, we would like them to choose a ceramic plate. But we are still, our food waste goes to the anaerobic digester or a compost facility that's nearby. So our overall message, so this is the end of my presentation for new employees, is to try to get everybody to think about what's their role for sustainability on campus. And there are custodians there who have to be intimately involved in our solid waste management. There are athletic people and our student health people who are certainly good health and well-being. People in student life, they're involved, lots of equity issues, zero hunger, no poverty. We have a lot of our students are sort of first generational college students. They don't come from families who have been to college. And so they need extra support. So that is my brief intro to Clarkson, and a few more people have arrived, so I use that time well. So I have up here, I have some sustainability at Clarkson stickers. I don't know, do you guys put stickers on stuff? If I ever get my teacup back, you will see it's on like layer 3 of stickers, Clarkson graduate student stickers, about our Institute for Sustainable Environment, and I have a handful, but not everybody, about our graduate program. So especially, I know there's a few people who maybe might want information about our graduate programs if you want to supply. And I have two bags of Clarkson swag. I thought one for Bindu and one for Indu, and you can take what you want and share the rest. So you can come get your bag of Clarkson swag. And if anybody else wants to stand up for a moment and come get Clarkson stuff. Bindu, you want some? It's easy to get Clarkson swag. I just walked around to lots of different offices. All right, thank you. And it's a reusable food like sandwich bag. So there's some sustainability stuff in there too. All right. Well, thank you for listening to me. I was pleased to have a chance to share what we do on our campus. I think it's important for you to know where I come from and what's happening internationally. A lot of that, yeah, stuff was student driven. The Arboretum, the lean-to, a lot of the mountain biking trails. So it's a mix. And sometimes it's more like the sustainability committee decides on something, like the areas where we're no longer mowing. The students are spending a lot of time working on those activities. So they're very involved in that. So we have a variety of ways. So I have, I think about 8 paid undergraduate interns and 1 paid master's, like fully funded master's student to help with these projects. And then sometimes it's classes. So like the Arboretum, that came out of our honors program, their second year class, they have to do community service. And so for 3 years running, they've been working on the Arboretum. Building the greenhouse was several years of capstone design classes for our civil and environmental engineering and mechanical engineering students joined that as well. So there's a range of approaches. Volunteers clubs. I took out the club picture, but we have a very active sustainability club. We have a garden club, and outing club is very active. They go all over the place for hiking and ice climbing and some sports I can't imagine, but fishing, canoeing, all sorts of stuff. So there's a range of different opportunities. And some of it's really like the anaerobic digester. There's always research, students doing research, getting research credits on that as well. That's definitely, of all of them, that's the only one that really has active research on it. The rest of them are more project-based and less research oriented.